Hello and welcome. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening on wherever you may be joining us from today. Thanks for spending some time with us as we take a look at how to select a marketing automation solution that can pair with Microsoft Dynamics 365. My name is Chad Collette, and I'm the Director of Marketing here at Ledgeview Partners, where we help businesses transform their approach to sales, marketing, and customer service by aligning these teams to focus on improving their customers' experience through CRM like Microsoft Dynamics 365, and marketing automation like ClickDimensions, who I'm happy to have joining with us today. Now, before I introduce our presenter, I have just a couple of quick housekeeping items to cover. Today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live session. All attendees will receive a follow-up email from me after the webinar is complete with a link to view the presentation. Now, please make sure to add ledgeviewpartners.com to your safe sender list so we ensure deliverability of all of our emails directly to your inbox. Now, to ensure the best audio quality, we have everyone in listen-only mode. But if you have a question, and we really encourage them, please submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel. We have a lot of information to get to, but we'll definitely follow up with you offline. Now that we got that out of the way, on to our main event. With so many marketing automation solutions today, how do you select the right one? Excuse me, and if you're using Microsoft Dynamics 365, to give that answer, I'm excited to welcome Stacy with ClickDimensions, who's going to peel back the curtain and show us how this specific marketing automation tool can really elevate your marketing game and your results. Stacy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that, and thank you, everyone, for taking the time today. As Chad was mentioning, we're really going to dive a little bit deeper into how you actually select a marketing automation solution for your Microsoft Dynamics 365 environment. So just to kind of go through today our agenda of what we're going to go through. First off, we're going to talk about, hey, what actually is marketing automation? Why is marketing automation so important today? Obviously, there's a lot of different ways to be able to market. Why is marketing automation going to be so important for you guys to be able to have for your business? Then we're going to dive into actually selecting a marketing automation solution for Microsoft Dynamics 365 and the 8 questions that you want to ask to keep in mind when you're evaluating a marketing automation platform. And then if we have a little bit of time after that, we'll actually dive into the live environment to kind of take a little quick tour through the ClickDimensions functions and features. But as Chad mentioned, anytime you do have a question, definitely feel free to put it in the chat pane. All right, let's get started then. So first off, a little bit of introduction around ClickDimensions. We are the preferred email and marketing automation solution for Dynamics 365. And what makes us so unique is the fact that we're fully native. So we are 100% native right into the 365 environment. So what that means for marketers is that all the functionality and features of the marketing automation platform is going to be done right within the 365 environment, so they don't have to worry about working between 2 separate systems. But also on the IT side of things, what's great about it is that you're going to be able to only have to work with one system. You're not going to have to worry about having data here, data there, not have to worry about connect information or syncing issues, because it truly is just one right within your 365 environment. The other thing to point out with ClickDimensions is that we're fully supported. So that after you actually purchase the ClickDimensions automation platform, you not only have a great partner like Ledgeview to be able to walk you through the onboarding process, but you're also going to be able to have a ClickDimensions, our full resources around our Knowledgebase, and our ClickDimensions Academy train, as well as a ClickDimensions Customer Success Manager, who's going to be with you throughout the life of your subscription. And again, we are fully committed. That means that our technology is only 100% compatible right within Dynamics 365 to give you the best experience possible right within your CRM environment. So a lot of questions I get sometimes is, what actually is marketing automation? Now, marketing automation features can vary by platform, but these are some of the common features you're going to find in a solution to really meet all of your marketing needs. First off, email marketing, that's usually the backbone of everything. Events, this is a very important one to keep in mind. There's a lot of companies out there that utilize like in-person or online meetings, where you utilize maybe a GoToWebinar, a WebEx, or an Eventbrite. You could actually, with ClickDimensions, easily be able to integrate one of those solutions into your CRM via ClickDimensions to easily be able to market to those participants. Social marketing. Obviously nowadays with a variety of different industries, being active on social media, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, is very important. So to be able to have a robust social marketing strategy where you can easily do a social calendar, enhanced analytics, be able to easily post. Campaign automation. What's great about this is you can easily create a visual type of a roadmap where you can easily schedule out and send out series of emails, but also route people on different paths of communication based on how they interact with those emails. Also, any businesses that have SMS text messaging as part of their marketing mix, what's great with Click is that with the SMS text messaging, you can easily be able to integrate one of the providers that we work with, and you can integrate that to your CRM via ClickDimensions, so you can easily be able to send out a bulk SMS text message or even just a one-on-one SMS text message. Lead scoring is also important, so you can better be able to gauge people's level of engagement with you. Web intelligence, landing pages, surveys, forms, and also you want to make sure that when you're looking at a marketing automation platform that you'll want to have the full training and support. Now, one thing with ClickDimensions, with all these different functions and features, you're easily going to be able to pop that data into dashboards and views right within your 365 environment to easily be able to just better measure the objectives that you want to measure off of. So getting right into it here, why is marketing automation so important here today? Well, first off, the internet and social media have really changed the buyer behavior, which has in turn changed how companies market and sell. Now, with information so readily available, buyers are now in more of a power position than ever before, and they expect more relevant, more personalized, and more timely communications from the different companies they're interacting with. That's why you're going to see, 89% of customers actually begin their buying process with the search engine. Obviously, this is different than years back. They're starting to do a lot of that research really just kind of on their own. And you're also going to see that it takes a lot more marketing touches to actually get them from being a lead to actually being able to get them as a customer. Now, one thing to keep in mind with is that 79% of marketing leads never actually convert into sales. And the top reason for that is actually a lack of nurturing. You reach out to them maybe once, but you don't keep that continuous conversation with them and that continuous interaction with them to keep them interested in you. Now, another reason why marketing automation is so important today is marketing automation technology allows companies to meet these expectations that the customers have by nurturing prospects until they're ready to buy and better engaging existing customers and aligning sales and marketing, all by streamlining marketing processes and tasks for just greater efficiency and increased revenue. And that's one thing that companies are realizing today is that in order to stand out, especially from their competitors, marketing automation helps in a lot of ways to be able to just stay on top of mind awareness, but also once they're a customer of yours, being able to follow up with them and just keep you guys at the top of their mind. All right, so now in addition to providing a wide range of essential tools for today's marketers, marketing automation actually serves as a powerful marketing engine for the CRM system that they integrate with. So the question that we're asking here today is, how do you decide which solution is right for your company as an organization that utilizes Dynamics 365? So we're going to actually look through the 8 questions that you're going to need to really ask. First off, does it include the features your organization needs? So with marketing automation solutions, they're capable of much more than just email marketing, include a wide variety of features like I already showed you, from the campaign automation to the web intelligence, to the forms, to the landing pages, surveys, social marketing, and more. Take the time really to think about whether the solution you're considering includes the tools that your company needs for current marketing, sales and customer service initiatives, but also keep an eye on the future as well. Now, while your organization may not use SMS messaging, for example, in present-day marketing efforts, if it's something that's being considered in the future, make sure you choose a marketing automation solution that can truly grow with your company. So that's one thing you're going to really want to keep in mind of. You're going to want a marketing automation platform that can grow with you as your guys' marketing initiatives grow and expand over time. All right, moving on to number 2. Now, is it easy to implement and use? Now, while it's important and imperative that a marketing automation solution have a robust feature set that makes it powerful and versatile, the system can't sacrifice simplicity for functionality. Now, if daily users of a marketing automation solution find it difficult to use, they won't use it to its fullest potential or even try to work around, they'll try to do a workaround or just won't even use it altogether. A system that's not user-friendly also defeats one of the main purposes and benefits of marketing automation, which is truly saving time. Now, similarly, if a solution is difficult to implement, in full or in part, your organization is unlikely to realize the maximum ROI that marketing automation can bring to your organization. All right. Let's move on to number 3. What are the options for training and support? This is another great question to really kind of keep in mind when you're starting to evaluate. And even the most user-friendly marketing automation system will require training for new users to get up and running. So take a look at the training that's offered by the vendors you're considering. Now, since different users have different ways of learning and different schedules, you really want to make sure to look for a marketing automation vendor that has a variety of training options such as live webinars, recorded courses, help articles, blog posts. And similarly, support should be offered in different ways to really suit your company's needs and operating hours. Now, not only does that demonstrate that there is help available to you when you need it, but it also ensures that you guys can quickly get started to quickly start seeing the results out of this. All right, moving on to number 4. Does it actually integrate well with Microsoft Dynamics 365? So let's face it, you guys put the investment into getting your Microsoft Dynamics 365 environment. You have all this great data, you have all this great information in your CRM. So you just want to make sure that your marketing automation is going to be a great complement to that. And while some marketing automation platforms can be used without being connected to a CRM system, integration between two of the solutions maximizes the power and effectiveness and value of each throughout an organization. Now, there are many marketing automation systems on the market today that say they integrate with Dynamics 365, but their level of integration really does vary. And the level of integration actually can impact the cost and timeline for implementation, as well as the overall functionality and performance. This is one that's really crucial to kind of make a note on. There's a lot of marketing automation tools out there that say they integrate, but with that integration, you have to worry about maybe a connector. You'll also have to be cognizant and be aware that there will be possibly connectivity issues and syncing issues. So those are definitely some of the variables to keep in mind when you're wondering, does it really integrate well with Dynamics 365? All right, moving on to number 5, how often is the system updated? Now let's face it, consumer behaviors and preferences do change over time, and to be successful, marketers must adapt to those changes. A marketing automation platform really should evolve with the changing needs of the marketers. So really be sure to look at how often each system you're considering is updated, and not just with fixes for problems that arise, although that's very important too. Vendors should really regularly add new features and improve upon existing ones. Also, when you're doing the evaluation, make sure to ask the marketing automation providers you're considering whether customer requests help drive product updates. While this doesn't guarantee that they'll grant every single customer request, it really does help demonstrate that they put the customer's needs first. All right, moving on to number 6. What reporting and analytics capabilities does the system provide? With marketing automation, reporting was once evaluated on whether it could help marketers make smarter decisions, but marketing automation is just not for marketing anymore. Now, marketing solutions today should allow for smarter business decisions and insights, truly organizational-wide. So look at not only the reporting and analytics capabilities available in a solution, but also how easily is the data and intelligence that can be assessed throughout the entire organization, and particularly those that are in sales, customer service, and also executive roles. All right, moving on to number 7. One of the questions to consider with around is what is actually going to be the total cost of this with the investment. And one thing to keep in mind with this is when properly implemented and utilized, a marketing automation solution should truly pay for itself over time. So price should not be the most important thing when you consider evaluating solutions. Instead, what you're going to want to do is actually look at the overall value. What do you get for the price you're paying? But also really be cognizant and aware to look at the overall costs, including if there are fees for setup, if there's fees for training. Hey, if they're not native into the CRM, if it has to be integrated into the CRM, what are the costs to that? Are there costs for a connector fee, anything like that? You'll also want to, there's also marketing automation platforms out there that charge by the amount of contacts in your CRM or by the amount of users that you have. So those are definitely things to consider and ask when you're evaluating a marketing automation provider. And with these extras, sometimes what appears to be the most affordable solution can actually be the most expensive. Keep that in mind. And last but certainly not least, does the provider have a good reputation? So when you guys are really investing in a marketing automation solution, a company isn't just purchasing a piece of technology. I mean, the nature of the system requires that you have an ongoing relationship with the vendor. So you want to make sure that it's a provider worth having a relationship with. So be sure to seek out, customer testimonials, online reviews, and ratings. And also work with your partner, such as Ledgeview, and they can actually provide some honest assessments on their experiences that they have, and seek out their expertise as well. They can also provide additional insights, into marketing automation solutions that are best for Dynamics 365 users. All right, so keep in mind, as the popularity and importance of marketing automation has increased in the years, so has the number of marketing automation solution providers. However, keep in mind, marketing automation platforms are not a one-size-fits-all. So the questions that we just kind of examined today are really going to be able to be a good base and a guideline as you're going through the evaluation of all these marketing automation platforms. All right. So now that I kind of went through as far as a lot of the questions that we had, now I'm actually going to want to dive into a little bit more of ClickDimensions just so you can actually see it in the live environment. All right. So this is ClickDimensions. So you have your Dynamics 365 environment. So you know how you have your sales tab, your marketing tab, and your marketing tab, that's where you have your marketing list, your leads, your dashboards. Everything in this cranberry color here, this is ClickDimensions. So, I mean, it truly is just going to sit right within your 365 environment. So the first thing I wanted to share with you today, out of all the different kind of functionality features is the email template. So there's a lot of different ways to create an email with ClickDimensions. Whether you're a novice and you want more of a drag and drop type of an approach, or if you do like to do 100% HTML, we definitely do have a different email editor for every kind of preference out there. So the most popular one I'm going to show you, though, is our drag and drop editor. Now, for someone like me that does not have any design experience, this is actually my preferred email editor to use. But we also find a lot of our tech-savvy marketers like it as well, because you can easily make modifications to it. So first off, we do have some featured templates that are already built out, where you can easily be able to pop in your information and you're good to go. Or we do have basic layouts where you can easily select one, but also make modifications to it. So to do this, it's very user-friendly to do. You can easily upload an image to this image manager, section out with folders for easy organization, You can even do Photoshop type features within this drag and drop tool. So I can create, an Instagram effect if I want to, change the filter color. I could crop it, I can resize it, I can put text on it. So I definitely have Photoshop type features within the editor tool. And then also with text or image, I can link it to something specific. So I can link this to a website link, email, click to phone if they're using a mobile device, a document, a subscription page, or even a ClickDimensions survey or a landing page. And again, with Marquee Automation, you truly want to, even if you're sending out an email to thousands of people, you still want to create a very personalized message. So let's say you want to send out an email to all of your existing clients and you want to address them all by their first name. Since we're native right into the 365 environment, click on this person icon here. And truly any fields that you have in the owner, lead, contact, or account records, and all the fields that you have within those records, these are going to be accessible to you. So, you can truly be able to personalize this message even far beyond just a first or last name. Another thing to keep in mind is you can easily modify this, like I mentioned before. You can add image boxes, put in sleek-looking dividers, take them out. If you guys have a specific color that you love to work with, by all means, you can certainly do that. And then what's great about this drag and drop is it has responsive design automatically built in. So whether someone is viewing this from their desktop or their mobile device, it truly is going to be a great user experience regardless of the device they're viewing this from. All right, moving on from this, one other thing I wanted to share with you, the email templates, is this is just one of the 4 email editors that we do have. But another thing I wanted to share with you, especially with marketers, let's say you've made an email template, you love the look and feel of it, but you just want to make a couple tweaks to it to use it for a different email communication. At this point, you don't have to start from scratch if you don't want to. Click this clone button right here. And that's going to make an exact copy of this email template. So at that point, all you have to do is just truly just be able to rename it, make the changes you want to make to it, so you really don't have to start from scratch if you don't want to. All right, so from there, what we're going to do is, after you get done making an email template, then you're going to want to actually be able to send it out and then be able to see all the great data behind it. So what's great with ClickDimensions is that when we're sending this out, it's very user-friendly to do since we're native in the 365 environment. You just attach the email template you already made, put in the subject line. A little later, I'm going to show you here actually how we attach this newsletter to our monthly newsletter campaign dashboard. You could choose to send the email from the record owner now. You could choose to send the email from the record owner or from a different person in the organization. You could choose to send it out now or at a later date and time. And again, since we're going to be 100% native into the 365 environment, any marketing lists that you want to send to, just click which marketing list that you want to send to and they'll appear right in here. For any of you marketers out there that are currently using A/B split testing or want to be able to do that with your emails, you can easily do that with ClickDimensions. Email statistics. So what's great is after you send out this email, all the great statistics and information you can be able to view after that email's been sent out. So if you click on email statistics, you're going to be able to see just the general overview of it. So I can easily see here that we sent this email out to over 171 individuals. We did not exclude any though. Now there's a couple of reasons why we would exclude. Either one, it's a bad email address, so we took it out of the equation, or two, they decided to unsubscribe to our newsletter. Now, if you want to know who was excluded or why they were excluded, just click on this excluded emails tab, and that would provide you all that information. So truly, all these open and click rates, these are truly based off the actual number of messages that were sent out. Now, let's say I just want to dive a little bit deeper. I can even look at seeing, hey, for email clients, are people viewing this more from their desktop versus their mobile device? Maybe I want to alter my imaging as a result of that. Conversions, this is probably my favorite view, because I can quickly and easily see how many emails were delivered, how many unique clickers, how many unique opens. Let's say you put in a ClickDimensions web form or a survey into that email. I can easily see how many web forms or surveys were completed as a result of that email send, and also how many website visits were attributed to the email send. Recipients. So I can easily see here all the individuals that received this email from us, and then I can also see how many times they clicked inside it. Now, a little bit later, if I wanted to right now, I could actually drill down and see, when he opened it up and exactly what he clicked on, but I'm going to show you that in the contact record in just a little bit. Heat map. What's great about this, especially from a marketing standpoint, is I can quickly and easily see the most popular links people are clicking on in this newsletter. So from a marketing standpoint, I can see, hey, what are the most attention-grabbing headlines? What are people most interested in? Now, don't get me wrong, these percentages, these are nice to look at, but they're not going to tell you the full story. So if you want more specifics on who's actually doing the clicking, go back here to the click report. Now, for instance, this link right here, I could see that 9 individuals clicked on the link 10 times. If I click on the link, I'm actually going to be able to see all the names of the individuals that took that specific action. Now, let's say I want to find out a little bit more about this person that clicked on that specific link 2 times. I'm going to click on that person's name. And right there, you're going to see that that actually takes me to that person's contact record right in the 365 environment. So the same contact record you guys are working off today. All right. So to show you some more information on all the great data that's in a contact record. So if I'm on a contact record, and salespeople actually particularly love this. So let's say Kevin is actually one of my clients that I'm working with. I can see from Kevin's contact record, all the regular stuff they have in the contact record today. But from the ClickDimensions standpoint, I can easily see here any emails we ever sent Kevin with ClickDimensions. How many times he opened up the email? How many times he clicked inside the email? If I really wanted to, I could specifically drill down and see when he opened it up and exactly what he clicked on. I can also see from Kevin's contact record any web pages of ours that he's ever been on. How long was he actually on each page for? I can also see any web forms or surveys he's ever submitted. And if I really wanted to drill down, I can actually drill down and specifically see what he filled out on those different web forms or surveys. Now, one question I get quite a bit is, hey, I don't necessarily want everyone in my organization to have access to this. And that's perfectly fine. With ClickDimensions, much like your Dynamics 365 environment, where you were able to put in security roles where certain people only had access to certain things, you can do ClickDimensions security role settings as well, where only certain people have access to certain ClickDimensions pieces of information. All right, also in Kevin's contact record, what's great about this is that I already showed you how to send out to a marketing list. But there's definitely going to be times, situations, you want to send just a one-off email, but still have all that great tracking capability behind it. So at that point, what I'm going to do is I'm on Kevin's contact record. I'm going to click on the ClickDimensions Quick Send. All right, all these email templates that you guys see in here, when you are making an email template and you want to be able to have the ability to send it off as a one-off email, mark it as Quick Send when you're making it so it's going to appear right in here. Now, when we do this, I can easily be able to, alter the subject line if I wanted to. I can choose if I want it from the record owner or someone else in the organization. And if I open this up, I can easily, if it's good to go, I'm just going to click the send button. Or if I need to make changes, I could certainly do it there. If this is good to go, I'm going to click send. And from Kevin's contact record, I can easily see anytime he opened up the email, clicked on the email, all that information is going to be right in there. All right, now that I showed you a little bit more about the contact record, let's actually dive in a little bit here to the web forms. So now with web forms, 9 times out of 10, when a client has a web form on their web page, if I'm looking at this, a lot of times that that web form that they have on their website, when someone fills it out and clicks the submit button, all it does is just goes into someone's inbox, into that business organization, for them to have to open it up, manually work it, and go from there. It's a very manual, time-consuming kind of a process. What's great with a ClickDimensions web form is that there's a lot of automatic actions that are going to have happen behind the scenes to make this so much more of an efficient process. So first off, when someone fills out this web form, clicks the submit button, a few different things are automatically going to have happen behind the scenes. First off, since we're 100% native right into the 365 environment, it's automatically going to write into the posted forms area, and it's also going to write into that person's individual contact record, just like I showed you with Kevin's. Now remember, one thing to keep in mind though is that a lot of times I get asked the question, well, hey, if this person is brand new to us, if they're not in our, what is the key identifier? An email address, that is the key identifier here. So with the email address, let's say someone goes to our website and fills out a web form and their email address is not in our CRM today. Then that web form would come in and either create a lead or a contact into your CRM. It's just a matter of how this web form has been built out. Now, if they already are in your CRM with that email address, then that web form would just already attach to their already identified contact record, just like I showed you with Kevin's. So what's nice about our web forms, and when I say web forms, I'm going to include surveys as well with this, because with the surveys, it's going to be a similar way to build it out and all the automatic actions behind the scenes. So what you're going to do is if you're making a web form or a survey, you're going to make a new field. Once you do that, it's going to retain here just like a library. So then once you have it, you literally can drag it in and you can drop it over. Actions. These are the automatic actions that are going to happen in behind the scenes. So first things first is that if I wanted to, not only is that when that person fills out that web form, is it going to write into the CRM, but you can also add them to a marketing list if you want to. You can create a task or a phone call to have someone follow up with them personally, an email notification, a team notification, a campaign response, assign it to someone specifically, an autoresponder email saying, hey, thanks so much for your time. We'll follow up with you on this. So there's a lot of ways that can happen behind the scenes that are automatic to really help streamline your overall marketing efforts with us. Now, to embed a web form or a survey, there's a few different options. With a web form or survey, you can easily embed it as a widget or an iframe or as a direct link in an email, whatever works best for your webmaster on that. Then to preview it, you can easily click the preview button here. All right, now that I've shown you some of the web form and survey functionality and all the great automatic follow-ups you can have happen behind the scenes with that, let's really dive into our campaign automation tool, where this is really going to help be able to streamline your overall marketing efforts. So with our campaign automation tool, what's really great about this is you guys are truly going to be able to create a visual type of a roadmap where you can easily schedule out and send out series of emails, but then you can also route people on different paths of communication based on how they interact. So in this scenario, what we did was we sent out an email to a marketing list. So when we sent out this email, what we did was we put a trigger into it. So if someone, clicked on the email and opened it up to read it, what we did was we sent them down a certain path, where in this case, we created a task and we notified a user to follow up with them personally. Alternatively, what we did was we sent clients, down a different path. Let's say they didn't read the email, they just ignored it. We sent them down this alternative path, where at that point, we put in a wait timer where we waited 3 days, and then we sent another follow-up email, just to try to grab their attention here one last time. And what's great with ClickDimensions with this campaign automation tool is that there's a lot of different options you can use with this in a lot of different scenarios. With the actions, you could just maybe send them another email. Maybe you want to add them to a marketing list, remove them from a list, assign a certain person on your team, or notify a user on your team. Or maybe you want to do a campaign response, send an SMS text message if you'd like. Even with our timers, you can choose specifically if you want to do a certain wait timer, where at this point you can easily choose if you want minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and how long you want to do this for. Or if you want even more specifics, you can actually get a specific date timer as well. Now, what's great about this is the different, to route people on different paths of communication. It's not even just an email interaction that can automatically route them on a different path of communication. You can also have a trigger of, hey, let's say they submitted a ClickDimensions web form. Maybe you want to send out a campaign automation based off of that. A subscription, a survey, if they register for an event, if they attended an event. So there's a lot of different ways that this can really help automate a lot of the manual processes and follow-ups that you're doing today. And keep in mind, if this isn't something that you're doing automatically today, you don't have to do this right off the bat if you don't want to, but this is something that you can definitely grow into over time to really help streamline your overall marketing efforts. And even to keep in mind, it's very user-friendly to even build out. Like for instance, the email, you literally just attach the email template, put in the subject line, if you want it from, choose who you want it from. And then even like with a marketing list, you just choose the marketing list that you want to be able to send out to. So it is very user-friendly to do this. One thing I will mention with this, and along with all of our different tools, is the training and support you're going to get from us from utilizing these different functions and features. So for instance, we have 3 webinars just around this campaign automation tool alone. One that goes over best practices, one that goes over different scenarios, and one that gives a general overview of the tool. And then keep in mind, since we're going to be native right into your 365 environment, any email interaction that you have, any website visit that you have, all that information is going to flow into everyone's personal contact records, just like I showed you with Kevin's earlier. All right, now that we've dived into campaign automation, I'm actually going to show you a little bit more about our web content, including our landing pages. So what's nice about one of our ClickDimensions landing pages is that if you want to do 100% HTML, you certainly can do that. We definitely have an editor for that. Or if you're someone like me that kind of wants more of an easy guide to be able to kind of follow and make modifications to it, we do have this block style type of an editor where you can easily be able to, pick a layout, and then once you do, you can easily modify it. So I can insert blocks, edit them, clear content, change the border styles, the background colors, resize the images. And then also with this, I can easily embed a ClickDimensions web form into this. Now, keep in mind with landing pages, there's a couple easy options to embed. If you want to, on your website or blog post, you can embed as an iframe. Or if you want to send out an email, just a direct link in an email. All right, moving on from there, I want to be able to talk a little bit more then actually about the web analytics. So with the web analytics, what's nice about this is that, obviously you see all the general visitors that are on our website today. Now, if they're already located in this contact area, that means they've already been identified as ClickDimensions. And you're identified as ClickDimensions with one of 2 ways. Either you fill out a form with ClickDimensions, or you click on a link in an email that was sent via ClickDimensions. Now, I already showed you all the great data that you're able to get once someone already is identified as ClickDimensions. But what I did want to share with you is that we actually actively monitor and measure anonymous visitor activity as well. And I'm going to show you why this is so important. So with anonymous visitors, if I go here, even though these individuals have never been properly identified with us, we're still actively monitoring and measuring every single move they make with us. So if I click on one, for instance, I'm going to go to page views. I can literally see at this point, day after day, page after page, every page they've been on, how long they were on each page for. Now, when the time comes with this individual, let's say, they were on our website and maybe they filled out a web form with us. When the time comes when they do either fill out a web form of ours, maybe they go into the website and fill out a form, or maybe they are sent a ClickDimensions email, then they click on a link in that email and they do become identified. All this web browser history from when they are an anonymous visitor is then going to be tied to their now identified contact record. So, you're truly going to have a 360-degree view of this person's level of interaction with you. So literally, once you guys start getting ClickDimensions and getting set up with this, from that point going forward, when someone goes to your website and kind of starts clicking around, to when they do become identified, you're going to have all this web browser history to look back on to see, hey, what have they been interested in? What have they been checking this out for? So you're going to have a lot more background on that person's level of interaction with you. Now, one other thing to keep in mind here is that we also do not only the web analytics, but we also do lead scoring as well for people to measure their, a person's level of engagement with your company, for instance. So one way to keep in mind with that is with the ClickDimensions settings. There's a few different ways you can do this. Now, with the lead scoring, you can go to score settings. And what's nice is this all rolls up to the person's individual contact record. So let's say they submit us a web form. You can have a certain point value with that. If they visited your website with a page view, you can give them a certain number. Or if they click on a link in your email, you can give them a certain point score. Now, what's nice, I will say, with the actual website analytics is that with the lead scoring, you can actually do certain pages higher than others. So let's say, for instance, if someone goes to your website and maybe clicks on features, maybe this is going to be a page that you score higher versus if they ask about, if they go maybe to one of your other pages, like your career site or your leadership site. And what's nice with this rolling up to the contact record, keep in mind, since we're going to be native right into your 365 environment, then there's a lot of things you can do with that. So let's say from a marketing standpoint, you determined that, hey, once someone reaches a lead score of, let's say, 300 points, then you can create a CRM workflow that maybe notifies that record owner of that to follow up with them personally because they're maybe more of a hotter lead. Now, keep in mind, with all the different functionality and features I'm showing you today with ClickDimensions, all this great data that you're getting from utilizing these different functions and features, you're easily going to be able to pop that data into dashboards and views right within the 365 environment to easily be able to better measure the objectives that you want to measure off of. And what's nice about it is it's not only just ClickDimensions data you could put into dashboards and views, but you can put in ClickDimensions data along with CRM data to even create a lot more different reporting possibilities and options. And another special thing to note is that if you also do have Power BI, you can easily pop in some of that Power BI data into your, you can be able to pop in your ClickDimensions, some of your ClickDimensions data into your Power BI for even greater reporting and analysis. Now, with all these different functions and features that I'm showing you, once you get a subscription with ClickDimensions to really get you on the best path to success, there's a few different things we're going to do. So first thing is that you would actually be onboarded with the ClickDimensions onboarding. And since Ledgeview is actually a great partner of ours, Ledgeview could take you through the onboarding experience to kind of give you a great foundation and a starting off point with your ClickDimensions subscription. But then to let you know, there's also a lot of great things that ClickDimensions will be offering you guys throughout the life of your subscription. First thing is that when you become a subscriber with ClickDimensions, is that you guys will have full access to our ClickDimensions knowledge base. And this is actually a public site, so you could view this today if you wanted. But this really takes you through the step-by-steps of the different functions and features. So for instance, let's say you wanted to create a ClickDimensions web form and you want to learn how to create an individual form field. You can easily click right here and watch a short little video if you wanted to, or it's visually going to give you the step-by-steps how to do this. Step 1, click on form field. Step 2, click new, and so on and so forth. Now, we also are going to give you unlimited access to all of your team members to our ClickDimensions Training Academy. Now, this Training Academy, this is actually password protected, so you guys will not have access to this until you become a subscriber. But when you do, anyone on your team that you want to have access to will be able to do this. But with this really is going to take a deeper dive in printed documentation and/or webinars on the different features. So just a reminder, like that Campaign Automation tool I showed you, we have 3 webinars just around that Campaign Automation tool alone. One that goes over the best practices, one that goes over the different scenarios, and one that gives you a general overview of the tool. And keep in mind, if you're ever stuck on a certain step, by all means, you can certainly loop in our support so they can provide you the additional guidance on this. All right, well, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time today. One special thing I do want to note, though, is with Ledgeview, please go to their website. I'm sure you guys have already been there before, but Ledgeview Partners has a wealth of information from blogs to case studies to informative ebooks and webinars, just to get the most out of your CRM, but also some great information just on email marketing in general. And keep in mind that if you do have any questions or you'd actually like to see a tailored demo of ClickDimensions, please either reach out to myself directly at ClickDimensions or to the person that you work with at Ledgeview Partners, and their contact info is below. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stacy, for all that great information and also a look at the ClickDimensions solution. And I don't know about you, but when I first saw this solution, it totally blew me away that it lived entirely within Microsoft Dynamics. Now, again, for anybody that's considering a true marketing automation tool or looking at new options, as Stacy mentioned, we have a ton of resources on our website that can really help you out. And if you wish to take a deeper dive into ClickDimensions, and there is much more to see, please contact Ledgeview Partners. We'll be happy to set that up. So until we meet again, I want to thank you for attending today's webinar and hope you found it as a valuable use of your time. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.